everybody, and welcome to Full Range Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Most Valuable Pat, and today we are going to talk about Money in the Bank, Raw and Smackdown for June 17th, 18th, and 19th of 2018. And let me say, man, I'm excited about doing this recap because this was probably one of my favorite pay-per-views I've seen in a long time. We've had a few good ones, a lot of good ones this year. Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and now Money in the Bank. They've all done very good jobs when it comes to using the talent correctly and having really good quality matches. So I'm just going to kind of go through. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about that on Raw and SmackDown anyway that I think they were good shows, but I think I want to talk about a couple things that I think that they should have done differently, and just kind of going through what they did. And so we're just gonna get this off right off the road. They had the first match was Gallows and Anderson versus the Bludgeon Brothers on the pre-show. So I mean, I thought that was gonna be on the main show. I didn't even watch it because I didn't even know it was gonna be on the pre-show. I don't watch pre-shows. Pre-shows are stupid. Pre-shows usually have dumb matches. But on this match, on this particular pay-per-view, this match was I saw was one of the matches I was kind of looking forward to seeing, and it was on the pre-show, which is kind of dumb. I didn't even see it. I do know that the Bludgeon Brothers won the match, but I didn't even get to see it. I'm kind of angry that they put that match up on the pre-show. I mean, it was almost a 4-hour long show. In fact, it was over 4 hours long. And they put that as the pre-show match. Kind of weird. I know this sounds kind of bad, but they should have probably put Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass on that pre-show. So we're gonna talk about Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley, but we're gonna talk about that match first. That was the first match in the card. I do want to start off with the elephant in the room when it comes to Big Cass, and he was released as of Tuesday, the 19th of June. It came out today, on Tuesday, and I didn't even see it until like late in the day. I saw it at like 3 o'clock. I was on my Facebook, scrolling around on Facebook, and then all of a sudden they see this thing where it says Big Cass has been released from WWE. And like the weird part is they didn't even say best of luck in your future endeavors like they usually do. So I'm kind of wondering what happened with him. I wonder if he got in a piston match with Vince and lost big time by losing his job, or something else happened. But so far, they haven't come out with any details about what happened. We're probably going to talk about that next week if they say something about Big Cass's departure. I do want to kind of read up a little bit more on that and to kind of see what happened. I'm curious to see what happened with that. Overall, this match was the same match as it was at the last pay-per-view. I mean, they pretty much did the exact same things. I thought this would be a good match for Big Cass to kind of get up and learn more from Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan's a good person to learn from. So I figured this would actually boost his career a lot because he was going up against Daniel Bryan, and I was kind of hoping that he would, kind of move on to some other bigger opponent later on down the line, Big Cass, I mean, and have him shoot up his career because he's got that look, but he doesn't have the promo skills yet. He keeps on saying the same shit over and over and over again. But I was kind of hoping that they would work on him with that, or work with him on that, and also to get him to, he's a good physical body in the ring, but now he's gone, it doesn't really matter anymore. It kind of stinks. I was really looking forward to seeing him do something, but that match was the exact same match as it was on the last pay-per-view. So there's nothing much different than this one. Daniel Bryan wins the match via submission, and that was pretty much it for that one. And then the next match that they had on the list was Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley. And this was actually the first time that you got to see Bobby Lashley on like a televised match in a very long time. And I'm a big Lashley fan. I'm kind of hoping that he gets a world championship push at some point here soon. They did announce a match for the next pay-per-view to determine who's going to fight against Brock Lesnar after that, and he's part of it. So we're going to see if he gets that push. It wasn't really a contest between those guys. It was kind of a short match, and Bobby Lashley, of course, ends up winning the match. But then they had what I'm considering one of the best matches of the night, and it was Seth Rollins versus Elias. And I was watching this match, and I didn't know that Elias was that good of an in-ring guy. I know Seth is, and he should be, but I did not know that Elias was that good of a superstar. He just went out and completely just destroyed this match with the stuff that he did, with the selling that he did, with everything all the stuff that he did. It was amazing. And he whooped on Seth Rollins for a while, and Seth Rollins got scared, and he rolled him up, pulled the tights, and got the 3 count. Elias should actually be the Intercontinental Champion, but he's not. It kind of sucks. But that was probably one of the best matches of the night. Followed by another good match, which was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Ember Moon versus Natalya versus Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss versus Naomi versus Charlotte versus Becky versus Lana. And this match was, I don't know, I would say 4 top 3 best matches of the night. They had a lot of good stuff go on in this match. A lot of the superstars really exerted themselves. I don't want to go into great details to make this video extraordinarily long, because I do want to talk a lot about what happened instead of what the match details. But everybody looked good in this match. Lana even looked good in this match. I don't know who she was, working with or whatever to make herself better, but, geez, it's really cool to see that Lana's actually trying. I mean, I do watch that Total Divas show, and I know that she was disappointed whenever she wasn't wrestling anymore. I know she wants to. So it's kind of nice to see that happen. But in the end, though, my girl, Alexa Bliss, won the match. And, everybody thought that it was going to be Charlotte. Everybody thought that it was going to be Becky Lynch or something like that. But Becky was close. I was kind of hoping that Becky Lynch would win the match, because she deserves a push again, because she hasn't really done shit since she lost her last title, which is a long time ago. So I was kind of hoping that she would actually get pushed again. But it does look like Alexa's gonna get a push again, which is fine, because she deserves one also. That was one of the best matches of the night, followed by one of the worst matches of the night, which was Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I did not like this match at all. I thought it was the same shit we saw before. Same match we saw before. There's no difference. Same crap. Same as it was the last pay-per-view. I'm not even going to talk about it, because Roman won the match. That's all you need to know. And it's just stupid. And then they had Asuka versus Carmella. Now, Carmella is not as bad as I thought she was. She's a pain in the ass, and she's extraordinarily annoying when it's her talking in the ring, screaming and doing all that crap in the ring. And being in Chicago, that makes that roar or that scream louder. It's actually kind of annoying how much she's actually screams and how much what she does to her and to herself. But it was actually going really well for Asuka until all of a sudden some dude came out, some lookalike of a dude came out and distracted her on the ropes. And it turns out that we have James Ellsworth back. And if you read the rumors from Cage Side Seats, they actually said that they were going to have Carmella be on, or not Carmella, James Ellsworth come back at this pay-per-view. And he was there. He did his thing. It was pretty crazy. But seeing his face, a chinless wonder, it was interesting to see. And he distracted Carmella and distracted Asuka, and Carmella ended up winning the match. It was kind of, I'm not really a big fan of his, but, again, he's there for hopefully not that long, because it's kind of annoying. But then we go back over to Shinsuke versus AJ for the 9th time in 2 months. And, I mean, it was a good match, but it always is a good match between those two. But, I mean, it's the 6th time in 2 months that they've had a match. I mean, I don't know how much more they can give. They can do this. I really don't. It's kind of like, what the hell? I mean, let's stop with the Shinsuke versus AJ matches because it's getting really annoying. But and AJ always wins the matches. Like, you know, Shinsuke is. I think they fought 6 times and Shinsuke beat him once. So, you know, if you don't want to give the title back to, and I wanted AJ to win because I didn't want them to have another match, because if Shinsuke won the championship and then they have to fight again to have the championship match again. So that'd be 7 times. And it will probably be Extreme Rules again. So I don't like that. I think it's ridiculous, and I think that they shouldn't do that at all. But they did. Solid match. AJ ended up winning again, keeping his title, thank God. And that was probably number 2 of the matches for the night. And to be completely honest with you, the next match I thought was the best match. This is a match that I actually stopped streaming and I actually watched. It was Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. And I was, again, so worried about Ronda coming out on their first singles match and just botching, messing everything up, looking greener than grass. And she was absolutely amazing. In her first one-on-one match, she was absolutely amazing. I was so impressed by what she did. So impressed. She took a beating from Nia Jax, and she did all the things that she could do. And I thought that she was going to pull it off. I was hoping that she wouldn't, because I don't want to see a person who first goes in the ring, you know, winning a title. But man, I mean, she just is a natural at this. She really is. She can do her MMA stuff. She can do all that crap. And she can utilize all that stuff and use it to her advantage. And that's exactly what she did. And this match was unbelievably good. And Nia Jax beat the crap out of her a majority of the match. You know, Ronda made her moves and did her thing. But Nia Jax beat the crap out of her for most of the match. And I didn't think that we were going to see that. I didn't think that you were going to see Ronda Rousey getting her ass beat. But she sure did. And it was great. That was the best match of the night. And then it was going so well, but then all of a sudden Alexa Bliss comes out. And she cashes in her Money in the Bank championship, or Money in the Bank briefcase, on the same night that she won it. And she ended up beating Nia Jax because Ronda Rousey almost broke Nia Jax's arm. And Alexa Bliss took advantage of that, beat the crap out of her arm a little bit, and then cashed in the championship. So now Alexa Bliss is our new champion again. So now we got to see her versus Nia Jax again. So are we going to see that Extreme Rules? I don't really know. But that should have been the match to end the show, because that was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know why they didn't do this as the last match of the night. If they knew that Alexa Bliss was going to cash in for the championship that night, they should have had it at the end of the night and not men's Money in the Bank match. Because I mean, it was good, but it was great actually. But I mean, it was not as good as that match was. This was number 4 on my list of best matches of the night. The Money in the Bank match, the men's Money in the Bank match, and nobody saw this coming. Braun Strowman wins the Money in the Bank. I was the only one that said it. Yeah, right. Like, everybody and their mother knew that Braun Strowman was going to win that match, because he's the one that's going to be getting this push. And I hope that he beats the crap out of Brock Lesnar and takes that title. That'd be wonderful. But I'm happy that he won that match. I mean, if anybody else was going to win it, I was hoping that it was either going to be Samoa Joe or maybe Bobby Roode or Kevin Owens. That's it. But other than that, like, I'm glad Braun Strowman won the match. He deserves the championship. He deserves to be winning the championship and have that match versus. I want to see just him versus Brock Lesnar. That would be the match that I would be looking forward to more than anything else. him versus Brock Lesnar. But, everybody was beating the crap out of him for a while, and then, it's the same thing. He comes back after a while, and then he comes back and beats the crap out of everybody and beats everybody. He threw Kevin Owens off a table into the off a ladder onto a table, and that was cool. But he deserves to be the champ, or at least fight the champ, and I can't wait to see him fight Brock Lesnar. It's gonna be great. So that's pretty much it for Money in the Bank, and that was a very, 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 very good pay-per-view. I really enjoyed that pay-per-view a lot. So kudos to that Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Great pay-per-view. 5 really good matches, and the rest were okay, but 5 awesome matches. Money in the Bank, both Money in the Bank ladder matches. Nia versus Ronda, and Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass, and Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. It was kind of short, but it was still a good match. It was still good to see him fighting again in WWE, which I was really excited to see. So let's move on to Raw here a little bit. And Raw opened up with Alexa Bliss coming out and receiving her championship. And the reason why I'm bringing this up for a reason, I normally would just stop there, but she comes out and she does the same thing she did last time that she won the championship. She comes out and she acts like she's gonna say something serious, and she's gonna act all innocent. And she was going to say, "Oh, I'm so thankful for being a champion." And then, "Ha, ha, ha, no, I don't." That's what she did. And I was like, you've done that before. I've seen you do that before. Why would you repeat that same thing from the first time you won the championship? It's kind of annoying. But there's a reason why I bring that up. And I'll talk about that here in a couple minutes. But she does her little presentation thing. She says a couple things. And then Ronda Rousey comes. And they start exchanging back and forth until Alexa Bliss says something she shouldn't have. And then Ronda Rousey starts beating the crap out of Alexa Bliss with her Money in the Bank Money in the Bank briefcase. And Kurt Angle tries to step in, and then Ronda Rousey hip tosses him and starts beating the crap out of Alexa Bliss again. Power bombs her through a table. Then they go backstage after commercial, and then now I guess Kurt Angle has to suspend Ronda Rousey for 30 days or something like that. So who knows if that's actually legitimate or not. We'll see if we see her next week or not. But I hope it's not, because I do like to see her around. I want to see her fight in more matches because she was so impressive in that match. And then they had Seth Rollins come out and do an open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, which was stupid. But then they had the person that he fought against was Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler ended up winning the match. So why is the question for me as to why is Dolph being the champion when he has a really good tag team partner? I don't really know the answer to that question. Maybe they're going to make them all-around champions, tag team champions, and Intercontinental champion. I don't really know, but that'd be cool if they did, because I want to see them get a big push, because they deserve a big push, both of them, because they've both been neglected by WWE for so many years that I think they both deserve a big, giant push. So we'll have to see what happens with that, but they will have a rematch at Extreme Rules probably, and we'll see what happens after that. But then they move on to Kurt Hawkins versus Bobby Roode. I'm not even going to talk about that match. It was stupid. We got Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Rhino and Heath Slater. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy come out in the ring, and they start talking. Or they walk in the ring, and all of a sudden the B team goes on the Titantron and has the funniest promo. I did not know they had that in them to do a funny promo like that. It was absolutely hilarious. And the best part was that Bo Dallas was intimidating Bray Wyatt, and Curtis Axel was intimidating Matt Hardy. I say again, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt are brothers in real life, and Bray Wyatt can barely keep from smiling because it was hilarious. It was actually really, really funny. And I want to see them fight so bad because they're brothers, and it's really cool to see them fight. But that promo was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And I hope that they keep doing stuff like that because that was great what they did. But Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt ended up winning the match. After that was Jinder Mahal and Chad Gable. Who cares? And then we saw Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Riot Squad, which Riot Squad wins. And then guess what? Sasha turns on Bayley. Now they're probably going to have a match against each other. Who didn't see that coming? That's very predictable, guys. It's not really that big of a deal. So then they had the announcement of the night where they had Kurt Angle said that they're going to have a tournament to determine who's going to be number one contender for Brock Lesnar's title. And before he can even say anything, Roman Reigns comes out. Of course, he wants to say that it's him. It's supposed to be him. It's supposed to be him. But it's not. They're going to have a match, probably an Extreme Rules match at the pay-per-view. And two of the people are going to be Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. But we don't know who the other people are going to be yet. So we'll just have to see what happens. And then as they were talking, the Revival comes out and challenges Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns to a match. And, of course, they want to bury Revival for some reason. So they have them go against Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns to get their asses beat. And Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley win the match. La-di-da. Good stuff. After that was Mojo Rawley versus No Way Jose with Mojo winning. Who cares? And then at the end of the night, the very final match was Baron Corbin and Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. I'm sorry, Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor and Braun Strowman. That match was just wasn't even really that good. I didn't even really. I mean, I pay attention to it, but it wasn't really like keeping my attention too much. I don't know why Baron Corbin is wearing like a Corporate Kane outfit. It just doesn't make any sense. But Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens ended up winning that match afterwards. So overall, SmackDown or Raw was okay. The Money in the Bank match was just 10,000 times better than Raw was. But I mean, it was okay, I guess. And they had a couple good things, a couple cool announcements. But we'll move on here to SmackDown. And I muted this because Carmella came out and started talking. Every time she talks, I kind of mute my television because all she does is go, ah, ha, 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 ha. And then this is the reason why I bring up the Alexa Bliss thing. Carmella came out and did the exact same thing that Alexa Bliss. She came out and she was all serious. I want to talk serious to you guys for a second. I want to say that this is serious and that this is, I actually mean this. And then she was like, ah, ha, 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 no, I'm not, ah, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, dude, Alexa did that the night before. Why would you do that same thing again on Tuesday? Why don't you make your own image? Why don't you make your own image? Why don't you make your own thing? You know what I mean? And they don't do that. And it's really annoying that they don't do that. And it's really kind of pisses me off that she would copy off Alexa Bliss to do that. And so that was kind of the whole thing for me. That's why I brought up Alexa Bliss talking about how she did the same thing she did before, but then now she's like Carmella's copying off of her, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And she's got to come up with her own shit. And she keeps on talking about how she's Princess of Staten Island, all that kind of stuff. She says the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And then right afterwards, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce come out. The two other most annoying people on the freaking show come out and do their thing. And they had a match. Billie Kay had a match with Becky Lynch, which Becky Lynch beat the crap out of her. And there wasn't really anything that was going on in that match at all. And I look away for 5 seconds and the match was over. It was very short. Becky Lynch pretty much beat the crap out of her. And then they had a thing with Jeff Hardy, which is kind of weird. Like I guess Jeff and Nakamura are going to start having a rivalry now. And he had this really cool face paint on, and he cut a promo with, talking about Shinsuke and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of hoping to see them fight again one more time, maybe 2 more times, because that was a good quality match they had last week. But the big match of the night was going to be the Gauntlet match, and it was going to be Daniel Bryan and Rusev and Big E and Samoa Joe and The Miz all fighting to see who's going to be the number one contender for AJ Styles Championship. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But they finally had Sanity come out and fight again. Thank the Lord. Because I haven't seen them in a long time. And they fought against the Usos. And the crazy thing was that I thought it was actually going to be a really good match. But then Sanity just comes out and destroys the Usos I mean, it was just weird because Usos are a really good tag team and they end up destroying them within about 5 seconds. And then you go back and you come back and you come back from seeing Sanity in the ring to Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson again in a tag team championship match. And this is a really good match. Again, Gallows and Anderson don't know scrubs, and they were really good. They do a really good job doing what they're doing. But it just, it just turns out that it was just over after a while, and then Bludgeon Brothers comes out and starts beating the crap out of them and ends up winning and retaining the championships. But what a great thing this would be if Sanity would go up against the Bludgeon Brothers. Let's give Sanity a push. Have them fight the Bludgeon Brothers. Have them have a good rivalry, back and forth a couple times. Wow. I mean, that just sounds amazing, right? Then that was the only 2 matches of the night was Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson, Sanity versus the Usos, which it wasn't even a match, and Becky Lynch versus Billie Kay. Then they had the gauntlet match, and to determine who was going to be the #1 contender to fight against AJ Styles. And the first person to come out was Daniel Bryan. And he ended up beating Big E and Samoa Joe. And then, for some reason, the Bludgeon Brothers came out and started beating the crap out of Daniel Bryan. Miz comes out, takes advantage of it, beats Daniel Bryan, and now he's got to fight against Rusev. And I was just praying to God that Miz wasn't going to win this match, because I don't mind the Miz, but I mean, he's just not really a #1 contender type of guy to fight against really anybody for a world championship anyway. Maybe for like the U.S. championship, but that's pretty much it. And dude, Rusev won the match, man. It was so cool to see Rusev win this match. I hope that he gets the biggest push ever. I want to see him just absolutely go off and give AJ a really, really good match at either Extreme Rules or the next pay-per-view or whatever it's going to be. I cannot wait to see this match. I want to see Rusev get a push, and I want to see him win the championship. And take it off AJ Styles. Even if it's for like a month or the next pay-per-view. I want to see them see him win the championship because he deserves a push because he's amazing. He's an amazing wrestler. He's got just enormous amount of popularity that's going on right now. He deserves a major, major push, and hopefully he gets it. But that's going to do it for SmackDown. SmackDown, again, it was short. There wasn't really very many matches to even talk about. But the Gauntlet match was better than pretty much everything that happened on Raw, as it usually is. So, on to rumors for the week, and so we're going to start off with this one. Per the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, there's apparently been at least some talk of Brock Lesnar showing up at UFC 226 on July 7th and challenging the winner between Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier. And Lana mentioned on her Instagram that Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan were helping her prepare for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And also that Tokyo Sports says that Maiko Sonomura will be in this year's Mae Young Classic. She's a good women's wrestler in New Japan. I have seen her before. She's actually really, really good. And if you watch that Mae Young Classic, look for her. There's a lot of rumblings about the WWE making moves on opening communication with talent in New Japan Wrestling. Apparently, that also includes talent who are announced for All In. And advertising seems to indicate that WWE will be going with the Daniel Bryan versus Miz feud, as we saw on SmackDown. So probably they're going to start that up, which is great. They need to have Daniel Bryan versus those two. I was hoping it was him. It was him versus the Miz right away. But if for some reason he paired him up with Big Cass, weird. They talk about James Ellsworth coming back, which they were right. AJ Styles on the cover of 2K19, which you saw already. Authors of Pain haven't been on recently due to a visa issue, but that's apparently been worked out. So hopefully they come back pretty soon because I like to see the Authors of Pain. Despite being advertised for their Australian Super Show in October, per Wrestling Observer, Daniel Bryan still hasn't signed a new WWE deal yet. They're hoping that he signs a 5-year deal. We'll see about that. Dean Ambrose was at the Performance Center last week, according to PW Insider, and it's not clear whether or not he's going to be in the ring, or he was in the ring at all, but he's still not expected back until after SummerSlam. And WWE is going all out quote unquote, for the 2019 Royal Rumble, and will seek to make the show at Phoenix's Chase Field rival the 2017 edition of the San Antonio Alamo Dome. So that's good news because Royal Rumble is actually my favorite pay-per-view of the year. So hopefully they make that better, and maybe they'll make it 40 people again. I don't know. AJ Styles won his feud against Shinsuke Nakamura despite Nakamura getting over as a heel because WWE wanted him to be champ when the 2K cover was announced. And the original plans for Money in the Bank main event to be Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey, including the Alexa Bliss cash-in, according to PW Insider, the decision was made to go with the men's ladder match instead at some point over the weekend. An insider says that the change led to some members of the women's locker room being bummed Nia and Ronda weren't going to close the show, which they should have closed the show. But Fightful says their sources told them that Jax and Rousey got a lot of praise coming through the curtain, which they should have after the match. The site also reports the talking of bringing James Ellsworth has been going on since the Greatest Royal Rumble, and there was a pitch to have him compete in the 50-man Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. And no word on whether or not Ellsworth has signed a long-term deal or just back as a quick angle, but he is scheduled for tonight's Smackdown, which he was on. So, yeah, I mean, the Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey match should have ended the pay-per-view because that was the best match of the night, and that was the best thing that they could have done, but they didn't do that. I don't know why. But that's going to do it for our episode of Full Range Wrestling Recap for this week, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, or listening, I should say. If you have any questions or comments down below, please let us know what you thought of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And who's going to fight against Brock Lesnar? And do you think that Rusev deserves a big push? And the answer to all these questions can be found down in the comment section by you guys. So let us know what you think. And if you have any questions, please let us know about that too. I'll answer them next week on the show. So thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our video. And we will see you guys next week. All right, bye, guys. Have a good day.